Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Impact Review, and there's not much there. There wasn't much in the show. I was not happy seeing how this show was structured. It wasn't bad. The ending was not bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. But throughout the show, it wasn't great. Let's first talk about the X Division and the decision to allow Tigre Uno to retain the title. I felt wasn't the wisest thing to do. I'll give it to you like this. Sanjay Dutt, when he was working in TNA, I felt could have easily been a good talent, but they never went there with him. At least not in quite a while. I believe he did win the X Division at least once, I believe. And I would have liked to see that again, but they never went there. When it comes to Tigre Uno, he's a great wrestler. He's a great luchador wrestler. But he has no personality whatsoever. And what he did when he was dealing with Donald Trump, that little bit he was doing, they made his video segment showing how mean and tough he is. Well, before he did his segment, if you understand what I mean. His picture before he did his video segment was great. But then when he did his video segment, it was okay. And there's the problem. No personality. Nothing. He acted average. Now, I'm not saying that he can't be more tougher, more charismatic, but essentially speaking, TNA really didn't give him time to elaborate on it, and he's only done it once. Kind of like TJ Perkins. So, what do you got? You basically got Zima Ion, who has been in a bromance, who's been around for a while. He's been in a bromance. He has built a, not a great character, but he has built a character that's well enough to get over. And I felt that he should have been the one to win that match. And the match was good, but I felt he should have won it. The Wolves versus the Revolution, to be honest, I didn't care about the match. I mean, Shiva was great to see, and it looks like they're going to have a feud between the Wolves and Shiva versus the Revolution, at least before the last tapings that Storm was a part of before he left, if he's fully gone now. But essentially speaking, it looks like it's going to go down that route. And the rules retrain. The reason I'm botching is because I just felt like the Wolves should have been having more time on television. I know they're limited, I know these are tapings, but I felt they could have structured it better for the last couple of months, giving the Wolves a little bit more than just matches. I mean, what happened with them with Dirty Heels was good, but what now? You guys tell me below. When it comes to Velvet Sky versus Brooke, I'm going to say this. Last week, I'll give it to you like this. As I said, I've been having problems dealing with some situations, and I have been a bit stressed out. I haven't been myself. So when the last TNA review came out, I didn't see the segment between Velvet Sky, Gail Kim, and Terrence Terrell. I just didn't see that segment. I missed it. I wasn't really focusing. I had been walking around my home. So I missed that segment. But when this came out, I had to go back and check and see if I could actually see the segment on YouTube, which I did. And seeing that it's possible that Terrence Terrell is now out because Gail Kim cracked her hand, I'm not totally opposed to it as long as Marty and Jade are highlighted. But when I looked at Velvet, they went away from the formula that had been working for her for a while now. Two things. One, she came from the crowd. Two, she didn't speak. That was the best thing that happened between her and Angelina Love. Now she spoke. And then when this match came out, she started acting like she did before, pointing at the crowd, cheering, and doing things that she did when she was her old self. And now she's gone away from the entire formula and don't really care. Mind you, I gotta say this. Drew Galloway, if you're watching this, I understand that Terrence Terrell was a pain in the ass probably and was causing you grief. But damn it all, she's damn hot. Gorgeous looking woman. I can understand when you fell in love with her and had her as your wife. I had to get that out. But essentially the match was stopped because of Dollhouse comes out and now the Rebel has joined them. Now here's the problem with Rebel. I always said when the Menagerie came out, a lot of people said, oh, she's never going to be a wrestler. I said, yes, she will eventually. And eventually, she did. The problem I felt was that they didn't give her enough time to talk or any time to even be seen on screen. Now they decided, in a sense, she's a brand new knockout because we rarely ever got to see her other than when she was with the Menagerie. Or when she was with Brooke and she got a butt kicked by Brooke. Which, let's be honest, not butt kicked by Brooke. Basically her butt kicked by the dollhouse. I'm kind of not clear in the head. I have been taking allergy medicine. Not anything else. But you get my point. The dollhouse kicked her ass. So why would she join the dollhouse? Hopefully next week they will explain that. For her joining has to make some sense. I'm happy to see she's there, but the thing is that, well, it doesn't really make storyline-wise sense. But it's what we got. Now, the #1 contenders match for the King of the Mountain title. To face PJ Black was a good match. The little beer money I love to see. People was begging them to do beer money at least once. And they did it until they realized they don't really give a fuck and they were going to beat up on each other anyway. Afterward. But it was finally time for them to do a beer money. We needed it at least once because we know both of them are leaving. Now, if they are going to GFW and maybe do beer money, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Because they were very good as beer money from what I understand and from what I saw when they were dealing with Motor City Machine Guns. But it's a shame they're not doing it in TNA. That's the truth. But it's good to see that Robert Roode is the one who's going to deal with PJ Black. Now the question is, if he wins it, does that mean that the King of the Mountain title will now be displayed in GFW? And will they show scenes of GFW on TNA? And that kind of leads me to the very end of the show. When Dixie was ready to let the founder run TNA permanently, day-to-day operations, in other words. It was nice to see Drew Galloway as the one who is the person who dropped the dime on the Jarretts. I gotta say that Karen just still cannot act for nothing. She's just not as a good actress. She's a damn good looking woman for her age. She is damn good looking. She's hot. She has a nice body. But she can't act for nothing. She just sounded so choppy and so forced. Mind you, she's still a good looking woman, and I understand why the Kurt Angle and the Jeff Jarrett married her ass. But she just didn't make it sound right. And then Jeff Jarrett turning the way he did on Drew Galloway seemed a little forced. Actually seemed a lot forced. And he tried to justify it. At least they are trying to justify and explain themselves. But when it comes down to it, and when the GFW guys came out and beat the shit out of him, it made sense. But it just still felt like there was something missing. I think it would have been better if they had someone from GFW do it, other than Karen Jarrett. And then after a couple of weeks, even Jeff is wondering what the fuck's going on. He's trying to straighten out his house. He says, and this is what I would believe that would be the best storyline. Jeff is the good guy. Someone from GFW is messing with TNA as he's running it. Karen could still be involved in it, but you let the person who's doing the work talk instead of her, because she sounded terrible. And in the end, he finds that whoever he's working with in GFW comes to TNA and said that, you know what, we fucked them because we work for them and they fucked us. Join us, Jeff. Join us. And his wife's already there. His friend's already there. And he looks at basically Dixie Carter and says, you know what? F you, bitch. You can bleep it if you wish. But keep the bitch in. He goes to the other side, and then you really have the feud. Doing it like this felt like it was short and it was forced. Could it still work? Yes. But I think what they need to do extra is to allow clips of GFW to be shown on TNA. Eventually it's got to happen, because if you play your cards right, and I think they might, they're going to show some of the talent going to GFW. You're going to see James Storm go there. You're going to see Bobby Roode go there. If Austin Aries has already gone there, it would be wise if they had planned this to let some of the talent that's leaving to actually do scenes of them being there and saying, we got sick of TNA, we're here, it's better. And I know people are going to say, well, that's going to fuck over TNA. If you structure it right, no. I'm not saying to do it every week, but I am saying that at special times you should show it. Like I said, it still felt forced. It wasn't that great. It could still work, but everything else in the show really wasn't that great. It felt really fillerish. But that's just me. How do you guys feel? So I hope you enjoyed the Zane View. Please give me a comment below. I'm so sorry that this is late. Usually I try to do it on the next day. I haven't been myself lately, as you guys know. I've been under a lot of stress. Certain things have been going on in my life. And I'm very thankful that some people have left comments for me saying, hey, it's cool. Just keep doing what you do and don't give up. And that meant a lot to me. And I thank you all very much. You guys have a good day and have a good night. Peace!